Hello people, Inker here on test, and today you need to be ready for these upcoming changes with patch 1.57. So on the left, you'll see the datamine neo hero Respen. Thank you to the data miners over VK. And right here in the middle, we're going to be talking about the changes that you will hit test tomorrow. So starting off, we have the neo hero and his trials. I'll definitely update you people once we know more about this hero Respen. For now, it seems like he's a wielder, probably a mage, looks like it to me. The birds look like support, so the archetype is pretty strong. Think Tassie, think Namora and Lorthan. New Voyage, new Trials of God, these are starting to be endgame oriented. Look, this one in 3230, this is the middle of chapter 32, but this one you'll need a mage artifact, Warden of the Arcane. The Warden of the Arcane sounds pretty defensive to me. You are competing on some awesome slots in the mage artifacts. You have stuff like Call and Windbiter fitting on most anything pretty well, but maybe something like Lorsan can enjoy this. Stiff competition nonetheless, but I digress. There's furniture changes. Look at these furniture changes. So first, they increased the buildings. This is nice quality of life change. You could really play things around, maybe do them by faction now. Only 8 factions now, right? No, that's 7. Okay. The players can now quickly retrieve gifts from friends within the Oak lobby. That's pretty nice for the dailies. And your macros for the dailies. Heroes that possess mythic 9-piece furniture sets can now sell any Axis mythic furniture in the storeroom. Okay. So while you can control which hero's furniture you get entirely with cards in the wishlist, you can't control what type of furniture you get. So if you keep getting the same type, you can sell it now. Might have kept some of the excess pieces myself if I knew, but I'm trending towards this being a bad decision in the very long run, where you will want some of the extra stats unless the price you get back for it is really good. Like if it's just 300 pool coins, I'm not on board. If it's higher than that, there's something to talk about. Definitely like, subscribe, and consider joining to get ahead of everyone else with these changes. And next up, we have getting of everyone else in Legend Championship. Now, let me preface this. I'm a little bit upset about this change, but make up your minds yourself. First, this is a buff to Wales. Like, you're talking about more teams for the older regions. When you have more teams, it's going to be like Heroes of Hesperia, but since Legend Championship formations carry on, like if whatever survives carries on, there's a few tricky things to notice, like the fact that you can't pull off strategic stunts as much as you used to because you're fighting way more many sets, and consistency is going to be very hard from behind. I anticipate Wales are going to enjoy the extra consistency, and pulling off strategic stunts, which I personally like to do, is going to be harder. Second, many players won't have enough invested heroes to use in the first place, and lastly, while this does increase the strategic cap at the very high levels of investment, like if you have all the full teams, you have a lot more to play around, it also ultimately encourages alting to get onto the near regions. This encourages more spending. Smart move on Lilith, but I see you over there. Personally, as I told you, I dislike this since pulling off the stance was fun. At Region 3, I'm probably destined to at least 4 or 5 sets. Field of Star changes. Let's talk about something a little bit nicer. They did add those dimensional keys instead of the obsidian one. I'm not sure which one's the obsidian one. The obsidian finch? I don't remember which one that was. Anyways, they add dimensional keys, but before you get overhyped, these only allow you to use fused heroes in tandem with the dimensionals, not trade for those new dimensionals. So after 2 rather upsetting changes, we have this. This is nice. Look at this. We asked for this. Factionless gear. Factionless gear can now be used as a resource. Finally, Lilith heard our feedback. I've passed it many times in the community tab. You people told me about this, and they don't punish you for upgrades either. So that's, I think, the highlight of this one. We're seeing the factionless gear being able to trade and no punishment for the tier 1 and tier 2 stones. So pretty good over there. And lastly, we have 6 hero bug fixes. None of these are changes or like drastic buffs. There's 3 description changes. There's going to be Numisu's rejuvenating totems. This was inaccurate on the heal. I think this was on the percent. So if you look over here, I think this account has Numisu. Thank you, Titus, for allowing me to borrow this account. Look at this. The 3% of their max health. I think this is 3% of Numisu's health, but we'll wait and see what's the actual change. We also have Belinda and Estrilda. You see over here, you're seeing another description change with Belinda's blessing level 3, lower attack ratings and crit values. We already kind of know this, not making anything too relevant because it's just on the description, not the effect. Estrilda, ridicule, same deal. Now here we have 3 bug fixes that I think are very interesting. The first one is really meaningful, watch out for this one. Zorath did not execute Enraged Albedo. This sometimes allowed Iron sets to get away with matching into Burst. Burst is supposed to really punish Irons on certain variations, but sometimes Albedo would be able to kind of pull off incredible stunts. So no more, none of that. Zorath is the hero that stays to the very end of the match in Burst, is going to be able to execute her after you pick off the Irons. Second, we have the Odin. Now Odin attack rating and haste only being increased in the first time that the eye opens, so this is a bug fix. It's going to make him even stronger past the rework, might even pave the way to the meta. I've heard some players that really test with him, clean my whip, AMB people like that. I've seen them kind of experiment. I've heard some even complain about this, some that suspected something is up. So we're going to see attack rating and especially haste helping Odin pull off more portals, might even pave his way towards the meta with those kinds of buffs, or bug fixes rather. And lastly we have Grezel. Now Grezel, you people might be overreading into what this was. Grezel could damage Brutus in the immune state with Demonic Assault. It wouldn't kill, but it was funny to see. So good that it's fixed, but it's not that huge as some people think, like he could kill stuff, none of that. Okay, so looking at this patch, there's some negative LC changes, Dimkey's not addressing the actual issues, and some community requests that are still up in the air like mass gear removal. However, we see Lilith take care of the Factionless gear, we have a Wilder hero to overview soon, and a new artifact, and really good hero fixes by the way. None of these smell like power creep to me, which is good for a change. I think it's overall positive, but there's a lot of spiciness in it. I hope this helped you understand. Like, subscribe, and join to get ahead of everyone and support me. And for now, I've been Linker. Peace.